Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video we'll be seeing what is classification in machine learning. So in the previous video we learned what was supervised learning, and we know that classification is one of a branch of supervised learning. So we have this definition of classification, like it is the task of learning a target function, which is also called as a classification model, that maps each of the attribute set, that is x, to one of the predefined class labels y. Now let us understand, like we have some attribute set. Say for example you have x1 to xn, and you just put all of this to a classification model. This how we built, that we discussed in our previous video. Now this classification model will then classify into different class labels which it already has. So consider, say for example, we have a data set. So this is our data set which consists of n number of rows and n number of columns. Now we do the bifurcation, or we divide it into 67% or 33%, or it can be like 50% or 50%. Now this will be our training set and this will be our test set. So with this training set, what we do is we construct a model. So that model is basically this classification model, and to this we put some input attribute set. So that is represented by x here, and for this we get some class labels. So that is here y. So what basically we did here is, like we have, say for example, this data set. So this data set basically consists of data objects. Now you might be wondering what this data objects is. So that is nothing but it can be vector, or it can be some cases, or it can be some observations from a sample set, or it can be some entity, or it can be anything like this. So now this, each of these data objects has got certain kind of attributes. So it can be like in case of weight, mass is attribute, or in case of time, or it can be anything. So attributes have got different properties, and so it is of two types, that is we have discrete and we have continuous. So it can be either qualitative or quantitative attributes. So those attributes we just input into this classification model, and for that it produces the class labels which are already there. Now this classification basically has got one classifier. So what this classifier is, it's a model that we create from here, and this model reflects what makes the instances in one class different from the other class. Say we have two classes, class 1 and class 2, or we have positive class and negative class. We have some data objects assigned here, we have some data objects assigned here, say 5 and 5. So this classifier basically does this bifurcation, or it basically puts these data objects into these many classes. So our classifier mainly could be decision trees. So it can be like you have a default class, and from default class there could be some branches, and so it will just make into n number of levels, and so you traverse this decision tree in order to create some rules. Now you have naive Bayes classifier. So that's mainly dealt with the probability distribution. So you have some probability of an event given upon some condition, and so you calculate the condition given upon that probability, and it's multiplied by the event upon by multiplied by probability. So naive Bayes and decision trees are the most commonly used classifiers in classification, and the other classifiers which can be used is, you have the KNN, that is the k nearest neighbors, or you can have the support vector machines, SVM. So these are the basically classifiers which are used, and so classifier is mainly denoted with the help of a symbol, that is something like this. It's called as a eta. So this classifier is mainly used in order to classify different objects into different class labels. Now there are two major phases of classification, that is you have the learning phase and then you have the querying phase. So what learning phase does is, learning phase is also called as the training phase. So it takes basically set of mutually exclusive classes. Now it can be like C1 to CK, that is class 1, class 2, class 3 up till class N, and then it can be assigned to a population. So this alphabet or this calligraphic symbol represents a population which you need to study. So this is a population under study. So we have all these classes assigned to this label, that is this population, and so each of these classes have each of the instances, that is xi to xn, and we assign it to a training set, that is D. So this is also population under study. Now this is the learning phase where the classifier will learn what kind of classes it has and what all are the various input attributes that it has got. Now it will do the querying phase, so that is the step 2. So first you have the learning phase, then you have the querying phase. So in querying phase, what the classifier does is, it takes each of the input attribute set X, which belongs to this training set, that is D, that is the population under study, and it will check whether that classifier or whether that input attribute set belongs to this, which of this classes from that population under study. Means if there is one attribute, say for example you have attribute 1 and it is from this population under study, it will check whether this X or this attribute belongs to which classes. Say for example, if x1 belongs to class C1, then it will be labeled to that C1. Now let's understand with the help of an example. Now say for example you have credit card value limit. Say for example you have particular customers and you have the credit limit, say for example $100 to $10K. Now what classification does is, it will assign each of this to a set. Like for example, say for first 100 to 200, it assigns to class 1. Second, 200 to 300, it assigns to class 2. Say for example 300 to 400, it assigns to class 3. Likewise up till class N. So what basically we did is, we have a large number of data values which was quantitative values, and we just bifurcated into small sets and we just put into different classes. So regression would be the opposite of this. We have these classes and we just open this value ranges, so we can have a chain of different values. So well, that was all regarding the classification in machine learning. So hope you guys enjoyed this. If you found got educative watching this video, please do like, share, comment, and if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching this video.